You...
Sorry. That shocked expression on your face is just too amusing.
You are not...
The sweet sound of bewilderment. Marvelous. A sure sign that my attempt to deceive everyone was a resounding success. But...
Focalor, why did you deceive us?
Oh, that wasn't my goal, of course. Goodness, no. The heavenly principles.
Deceiving the heavenly...
It's all because of that pernicious prophecy. Dreadful, wasn't it? Everyone doomed to dissolve. One was not amused. In fact, one was positively bemused when that problem was thrust upon me by my dearest predecessor. That's the former Hydro Archon Egeria for the uninitiated. And she knew full well that the prophecy would surely come to... And as one of the seven, she also knew full well that one defies the heavenly principle. So yes, as you have no doubt surmised, it was a rather... I spent a terribly long time mulling it over, alone on the ocean floor. And I was almost growing barnacles by the time I had to outwit the heavenly principles. I'm a genius, I know. I can only assume that's why Egeria chose me as her successor. Although, looking back now, it was hardly the inheritance one dreams of. Between the task of saving the nation, the quotidian duties of the Hydro Archon, and not to mention the original... But one can only play the hand one is dealt. I did not choose this, any more than I chose to be one of her Oceanid familiars.
So you were also once one of the Oceanids, transformed into a human by Egeria's...
Yes, I was. I always dreamed of becoming human. And I still do, even now. In my eyes, to be human after becoming a god, I separated my divinity from my body and spirit, leaving behind only a self that was as naive and bewildered as my past self. The me you see before you now is that divinity. And the human counterpart I left behind, I named Farina. She could feel joy, sorrow, and everything in between. She could be as vain and conceited. Her strengths were of a kind only a human could. But in my eyes, Farina's humanity was what made her perfect. She was perfectly human in every way. The person... Anyway, so then I cursed her. All part of the plan, of course. The plan to deceive the Do you still remember the final scene of the prophecy? The Hydra Archon alone. In order that the prophecy might appear fulfilled, I invited Farina to be an actress, to play the part under the curse I placed on her. So long as I, Focalor's divinity, continued to exist, she could not die. But nor was she. Instead, she was forced to take the stage in the opera house, to embrace the role of leading lady, to forever play the part of the god. I suppose now you probably understand why your court is called the opera.
But Farina is only human. Even though she has had a long life, her mind is no stronger than that of any other. I cannot begin to fathom what she has had to endure.
It has indeed. And although she is, in a sense, me in human form, it's been 500 years. And all along, she's been playing her part in the most unimaginably long, unbearably lonely, and agonizingly painful opera of all time. Oh, who permitted you to come onto the stage? Now, I understand your admiration for my august self, but I must ask you to keep to the rules. All right. It is not my intent to reprimand you. There is no need to state your name. Just be off with you. Do not distract me from my performance. Oh, do not jest. Can you not feel it? I am Focalor. The eyes of countless Fontanians are upon me. I must act. Dear audience, the performance is experiencing a technical difficulty, but worry not. The guards shall resolve it soon enough.
Shine down! Take flight!
Incinerate! Hey, what gives? The audience is still watching me, you know. Guards? Wait, where are the guards? Guards! Boom, boom! Farina. Huh? Who's that? Who's calling me? Where are you? Be not nervous. Be not afraid. I am before you. Wait a moment. You're mirror me? How? Mirror you, huh? You know what? That's not bad. Mirror me. What? The prophecy. What prophecy? Wait. The people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only the high... Oh. What's going on? I can't seem to remember... Yes, it will. And that is why I've come to you. Disaster will come to Fontaine soon. But doesn't that mean everyone will die? I'm a Fontanian. Oh, don't worry. Magical meetings exist in this world precisely to give... I will tell you how to save everyone, but you may have to suffer somewhat. Oh, so there's still hope after all. Good. As for the suffering, well, I will admit that the first thing that came... But if the prophecy will come true,
I'll also die anyway, right? If there were scales, with all the people of Fontaine on one side and my pain on the other.
You truly are the perfect human. My ideal. I suppose this would also be the justice that belongs to you.
Huh?
Don't worry, it's nothing. Listen well. Fontaine has just lost its Hydro Archon. I need you to play a role. That of the new Archon.
Play as...
That's right. You must begin a never-ending masquerade. If you can keep it up, then I shall have my way of defying this prophecy.
But how will I do this? A human...
Don't worry. What you must do is not to turn yourself into being a human yourself. I'm sure you all remember. Your true child...
I'm still not sure I understand. So, how long am I going
to accomplish this mission? You will have to stay on the stage, but I promise you, all...
A trial, huh? How exciting. I'll be looking forward to it. The Maison Cardinalise has announced my accession, but this is my first time facing the people. What should I say to most appear like a god? To be honest, I still don't know. Perhaps... Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, and welcome to the... I'm sure you've all heard about how I have taken on the role of Hydro Archon. Indeed, I am, in truth. I know little about becoming a nation's new god, but it will be my honor as the god Focalor, the god of justice. I shall do all within my power to lead you into an age of fairness and, once again, thank you all for coming. If you should have any questions or suggestions, this should do it. I thought I might stammer, but thankfully, I was able to convey my thoughts just fine. Okay, and next.
That's the new Hydro Archon. Is this some kind of joke by the Maison? I would have thought that a being that surpasses humanity would be a bit more assertive.
Hey, did you hear that? She even told us to send her suggestions there at the end.
Shouldn't gods be all-powerful? She's being so modest. What's the difference between her and an ordinary person, then?
If you ask me, perhaps the succession didn't actually happen. She might just be a Maison back puppet.
Wait, what's going on? Why is everyone suspecting me of being a fate? Right. Mirmi said that I just need to play the role of a god. Calm down, Farina. Think. What do the people want? Assertive, with a strong sense of presence. One who can dispel all doubt. That is the character. Oh, very good, my people. Only one's such a... Now, I was wondering if some weak puppet were to one day come on to this... Well, it seems that you would all see right through them. Having passed my test, you are qualified to witness... You may consider my previous act a door gift of sorts. I thought it was a debut. Now then, let us be...
So that was just a performance. How could I have forgotten that we were inside an opera house?
Her personality. It's quite shocking, to be honest, but I suppose it's a better look than before.
Such a fascinating and bold deity. How wonderful! Our future may yet be bright after all.
It seems I've turned them around. Best follow this flow and restart my accession speech. My dear people, whether you acknowledge me or not, whether you trust me or nay, I say to you, keep faith. We have heard it said that this nation's sins can no longer be washed away. Well, I say that justice is most fragrant when it blooms amid the scales of justice should not weigh heavy in the hands of its God. On one side, it must carry fairness, and may law be the prayer on our lips. May judgment be our worship. Let us light the fires and drink to the future of Fontaine. There is no trouble in this world that justice cannot solve. So long as I, the Archon Focalor, stand within the Opera Epiclese, so long as I stand before the Oratrice,
Lady Farina, here are today's case reports, as well as a summary of the follow-up for your perusal.
Come now, was I not just at the Opera House? Besides, none of these trials were the one that I'm looking forward.
If I may be so impertinent, what
A magnificent, dramatic, and wondrous trial. A trial to end.
That's true, I fear I lack the ability to grasp your divine thought.
No need for fright, and do not take what I said before too seriously. Go now, do your duty.
Lady Farina, I don't know what to say. Thank you.
No need to thank me. Or rather, thank your own sense of perseverance. Oh, I'm afraid that's just an... All right. Deuteria, is it? How it...
He is doing much better now. In fact, he is far more of an ardent believer than I. He was the one who forced me to seek an audience with you, and to bring your words back.
Oh, good. Very good. If this should happen again in the future...
Oh, you're such a gentle and wise God. Thank you.
Lady Farina, here are the latest hydrological reports. As for the specific parameters you asked...
I see. It's as I thought, then. As your god, I did already expect this, but all manner of signs indicate that the prophecy will still come to pass. Forget it. That's not something you...
Well, as I understand it, the Fontaine Research Institute...
Really? Have they found...
I'm afraid that they haven't found any effect...
Oh, is that so? Well, no wonder. This issue has reached the realm of the gods, after all. Still... The day is finally over. I haven't had a moment, but it's good to see that everything's getting on track. There are no longer any void. Maybe this is fine. I just need to keep going. All right, Farina, don't think too hard about it.
Lady Farina, here are the new trial reports for the latest cases, as well as a summary of the follow-up.
There'll be no need for that. I've seen them already. There's no need to go back.
Lady Farina, I've waited so long for this chance to see you in this manner.
Indeed, my dear, loyal citizen. This joyous moment is an honor for us both.
Lady Farina, we're detecting significant hydrological anomalies near Poisson.
Understood. Keep monitoring. Keep me informed. I don't think I let anything slip. I just don't know when these days will end. I feel utterly exhausted. Best to rest early today, too.
Lady Farina, it's like a dream being able to speak with you. I've heard that the first member of our family who was honored to receive an audience with you was Madame Deoteria.
And what a fine family yours is indeed. It brings me great joy to meet...
Surely you exaggerate, Lady Farina.
What is it, good citizen?
Are you crying?
Really now? This must be the overflow of hydro from my person. Well, can't quite help being the god.
No wonder. No wonder. A manifestation of your power, then.
So interminable. So lonely. Just how much longer? Hundreds of years must have passed by now. Perhaps the show must go on. I never imagined. Have I reached my limit? No, I want to tell someone, anyone about this. But would that not just... I've conducted so many investigations. All I can do is keep heart. I must maintain the...
Farina, you don't have to shoulder this burden alone. Although I don't know what you might be keeping from everyone.
share my burden. That's impossible. It was fated right from the start.
But even if your burden doesn't need to be shared, you can still just share it with me.
A witness. Yeah, and if Tevat is in its entirety. If he's right, I could confide in him, couldn't I? But if things don't play out as expected, no, Farina, you. But what if it, Farina? You've worked so hard for so. Is it such an outrageous thing? If you let this opportunity slip through you, think about it long and hard. No, I have nothing to say. All you need to do, dear spectator, is to witness my performance until the...
Fine.
So even Farina doesn't know the truth? You've never once let her in on the full plan?
Yes, it had to be done. To deceive the heavenly principles, you must first She did very well. If she had let her resolve falter even once, it seems that trusting humanity was the right...
I believe that I understand how your deception works. But that is only half. How would you build on this foundation to save the people of Fontaine?
Ah, good. Of course, the Iudex of Fontaine has pinpointed the crux. I'm sure you've long sensed that the Oratrice is no simple machine.
I've always suspected that it had its own consciousness. And Lenny did mention that he heard a human voice within the court. It now seems that that person was you, hidden within the machine all along.
And then I became one with the Oratrice, taking Fontaine's gnosis with me. Yes, it would seem so. Alas, your understanding of this device, in truth, it is no enactor of justice. It is, in fact, a device created to kill the god of justice.
I beg your pardon?
Oh, you have it. And to be more precise, not only will the Oratrice take down the god of justice, I mean, did you think I would be the sort to... My work over these last 500 years has been to constantly accumulate... But really, some have already discovered that only a small fraction, the vast majority had to be
It was all part of your plan then?
Indeed. This power, accrued over 5 centuries, could have sustained Fontainians for millennia, had it only been used for that purpose. Almost all of it has now been stored within the Oratrice. But only power of this magnitude could hope to destroy the Hydro Archon's divine throne, shaking the rules established by Celestia, and breaking through the institution that is the Seven.
So the Oratrice's call for death was for neither Farina nor Focalor, but for the Hydro Archon. The destruction of that divine throne, if I do not misunderstand.
Returning what's rightfully yours to you, of course. In other words, this was all done to return the authority of the Hydro Archon to the Hydro Dragon of this planet.
But...
Oh, what? Getting sad again, are we? The authority of the ancient dragons shall soon be yours once more, O Hydro Dragon Sovereign. And
all you've done throughout the years is just so you can sacrifice.
I've never quite seen it that way, you know. Even now, I'm quite pleased at how well my deception worked. Hydro Dragon, Hydro Dragon, don't cry. I must say, had it been within my rights, I would have loved to judge the heavenly principles themselves. Were they not guilty? Egeria stole the power of the primordial sea, and the heavenly principles stole the... I, for my part, am the god of justice. Speaking of justice, I have always believed that justice lies in the process. So, if the theft of the primordial seas might, then, leaving matters of procedural right and wrong aside, the descent of... In other words, existence was Egeria's justice, and to me, justice is the defying the prophecy and ensuring that Fontaine's people shall live on. That should be the justice. At this point, we, whether it be myself or all other Fontainians, have shouldered the Iudex Neuvillette, the highest judge in our land. When you regain your full
So when I was invited to the court of Fontaine to serve as Iudex, I see now that, at last, in the beginning, I was uninterested in human existence. But these 5 centuries of living alongside them, you are a devious one, Fussalor. Things being as they are, surely you know that I could never declare them to be guilty.
The hour of my execution is almost here. For the sinner, the curtain call has come. I know I may not sound it, but faced with death, I find myself a little afraid. Perhaps this is one thing both gods and humans have in common. Farewell, Neuvillette. I hope you've enjoyed the part you played these 500 years.
I, Iudex Neuvillette, hereby declare, people of Fontaine, your sins are forgiven.
What just happened?
Was that bright light some sort of misdirection?
But since we're all still alive and haven't been dis-
It's time to end this. We must mete out punishment to that.
Didn't you say just a-
I have gained the strength sufficient to deal with it. Through certain means, I now have the ability. We should seize the opportunity to pursue our quarry. Traveler, now that the oratories can no longer function, I require an executor to help me mete out the root of the calamities befalling Fontaine, the beast that enacts the prophecy. Come with me, traveler. The hour of execution.